Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Please go ahead.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. So today we are starting our Mananam session or chapter 18 and also some general questions which pertain to the entire Bhagavad Gita also. So this entire PPT has been created by Deepa and I am presenting it on her behalf. It's all her work. Okay, so we are doing the chapter 18, Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, Yoga through the perfection of renunciation and surrender. So we have 20 questions today, 3 minutes each for all of us. And some questions have been given to 2 people. And later, of course, we will also open it to few more, anybody who has got unique suggestions also. So we start the session with question number 1. Question number 1 will be answered by Bharti ji. What are the 2 levels of renunciation talked about in chapter 18? Explain the meaning of the title Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. Bharti, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, ma. Om Amma, Gurubhyo Namaha, and my namaskarams to all the other fellow sadhakas. In chapter 18 of the Bhagavad Gita, titled Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, Lord Krishna discusses 2 levels of renunciation, Sannyasa and Tyaga. Shloka 2 goes like this. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kamyanam Karmanam Nyasam Sannyasam Kavayo Viduhu Sarva Karma Phalatyagam Rahustyagam Vichakshana. Here Bhagavan says, some sages understand sannyasa as the giving up of all actions motivated by desire, and the wise declare that tyaga consists in relinquishing the fruits of all actions. Sannyasa involves giving up actions motivated by desire, while tyaga means giving up the desire for the results of one's action. Renunciation of action, this refers to the abstaining of actions that are motivated by one's raga, dvesha and attachments. It involves detachment from the activities that are motivated by ego, desire for personal gain, kamya karma. Giving up kamya karma is called sannyasa. Tyaga, renunciation of fruits of action. This level of renunciation focuses on performing actions without being attached to results. One dedicates all actions to higher purposes like divine will and not being concerned with the personal gain or losses. Acts of tyaga, sacrifice, dhanam, charity, and tapas, penance, are not worth giving up. They must be performed as they are the purifiers to the wise men. The Gita does not advocate for complete inactivity. It focuses on the importance of fulfilling one's duty, swadharma, while renouncing attachments to the results. Performing actions without attachments, even that are prescribed as duties, is considered a way to purify oneself and advance spiritually. The concept of the 3 gunas of nature, sattva, rajas, tamas, is the outline. Both sannyasa tyaga, when practiced correctly, lead to moksha sannyasa yoga, which signifies the yoga of liberation. Moksha means freedom from the cycle of birth and death and the illusion that is caused by maya. It is a state of spiritual enlightenment and union with the divine Ishvara. Chapter 18 teaches that true liberation is not achieved by merely abandoning all actions, but by performing selflessly without attachment to their fruits. A shining example is King Janaka. As a Raja Rishi, by being immersed in royal responsibility, he acted without selfish motives. Every decision and every duty was an offering to Ishvara. Our leaders like Mahatma Gandhi ji and Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri ji held profound reverence for the Bhagavad Gita, considering as a spiritual guide and a source of strength throughout their life. For them, the Bhagavad Gita wasn't just a religious text, but a practical guide to ethical living and self-realization, particularly through the concept of Nishkama Karma, action without desire for its fruits. Both the leaders saw the Bhagavad Gita as a source of strength and guidance during challenging times and as a path to spiritual liberation. One studies the Gita to attain moksha and be free from miseries of life. Om Tat Sat. Thank you, Amma.
Thank you, Bhartiji. Amma, would you like to say something? So thank you for explaining the title to us. And with that, we move to the next speaker, that is Prabhaji. The question posed to her is, Atma is akarta, Anatma cannot act as it is inert matter, then who is the karta, the doer?
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Atma is akarta signifies that the true self is not the doer of actions. Atma is luminous and serves as the illuminator. In the presence of light, objects are known. Atma or consciousness reveals darkness without dispelling it. The light of consciousness is self-luminate, Swayam Prakasha, allowing the experience of both light and darkness. Bhagwan has provided his grace to all, which is universally available like sunlight. We can tap the grace by doing Nishkama Puja, Japa, Parayana. Atma is ever-present reality, yet because of ignorance, it is not realized. It is the eternal, unchanging essence of a being, distinct from the temporary physical and mental experience. Atma is a witness and observer, but not the one performing the actions. We often identify with the mind and body, leading us to believe we are the doer. This is our spiritual ignorance. Realizing the true nature, recognizing that it is not the doer, frees us from cycle of birth and death. Anatma includes the mind, body, and senses. It is seen as inert and insentient on its own. However, it appears to act and experience due to the presence of Atma. We are the doer of all actions as long as we have Adhyasa. We think we are the body. All this is what makes us the doer. My own experience when I had an elbow dislocation and gone to the hospital, the orthopedician took my hand and said, "Forget for a while that you are the body and I shall fix it." I followed him. I was calm through the pain. Though the pain was unbearable, he got it fixed. The verse 27 in chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita, Prakrite Kriyamanani Gune Karmani Sarvashaha Ahankara Vimudatma Karta Hamiti Manyate, which says that you are not the doer, also says that it is the forces of nature that performs all actions. But deluded by ego, a person thinks that he or she is the doer. The truth that you are not the doer is something which has to be realized in life. As long as we think that we are the doer, we cannot realize the truth of our being non-doer. In Vedanta, the doer is not either the Atma or the Anatma alone, but a combination of both. In Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says to Arjuna, "You are not the doer. Action happens through you. You are only an instrument." The mind, intellect, body, Anatma functions in the presence of consciousness. The identification of the pure self with body is Ahankara. Just like electricity powers a lamp or rotates the fan, still neither electricity, light, or fan are the doer. It is the combination that performs actions. When you realize yourself as Atma, untouched by body, mind, the sense of doership drops. Karma continues, but you are no longer bound by it. Final understanding is Atma is akarta, it is pure presence, not doing anything. Prakriti, body, mind cannot act without consciousness. Ego, ahankara claims doership, though it is false. Jnani sees truth, actions happen, but I am not the doer. Om Tat Sat.
Thank you, Prabhaji, for reminding us as to who is the doer. And now we go to the next speaker, and that is Kalyani Bala. Her question is, what is the role of Karma Yoga in attaining Atma Jnanam? Why does Krishna praise performance of one's own Swadharma based on Swabhava?
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. The twin principles of Karma Yoga are Ishwararpanam and Prasada Buddhi. The extremely popular verse of Gita 2.47, Karmanye Vadikaraste Ma Paleshu Kadachana Ma Karma Palahedu Ma Te Sangostava Karmani. It says that you have only the right to perform your duty but not to concern yourself with the result. Even while doing, give up the pride of doership, that is Kartrutva Bhava, and do not be attached to inaction. So, if one discharges his duty as an offering to God without expecting the palam, his attachments reduces, acceptance level increases, ragadvesha gets removed, and mind becomes pure. By prolonged practice of Karma Yoga, one develops Indriya Nigraha, Samatva Bhavam towards Dvandas, and become emotionally stable, all leads to Chitta Shuddhi. And thus he gets qualified for the Atma Jnana. With continuous Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam under a competent guru, he starts identifying himself with the self of others, establish himself in the higher nature, and enjoys the supreme bliss. In chapter 3, verse 19, Krishna highlights the link between the selfless action and spiritual progress. And in 11th and 12th verse of chapter 5, Krishna says that such a karma yogi who performs actions for the sake of self-purification by shaking off attachments attain everlasting peace. Thus, karma yoga is the practical path for Atma Jnanam and Jnanameva Mokshaka. And coming to the second part about Svabhava. In 18.47, Krishna says that it is better to do duty of one's Swadharma, even though imperfectly, than doing another's Dharma perfectly. So in verse 35 of chapter 3, Krishna mentions that even death in the performance of one's own Swadharma brings blessedness. So Swadharma is practicing one's own dharma, which includes individual unique duties and responsibilities. Swadharma is aligned with one's inherent nature, that is Swabhava, and it is essential for individual as well as societal well-being. Swabhava guides one what karma he should perform while being righteous in his life. So when one performs his Swadharma, he experiences a sense of fulfillment as it is an expression of his true self. It also purifies the mind, transcend ego, and align with the universal truth and spiritual awakening. So if one refuses his Swadharma, he incurs sin. So Krishna advises Arjuna, who is deluded by moha, to fight with Kauravas. Being a Kshatriya, it is Arjuna's Swadharma, otherwise he will incur Pratyavaya Papa. Om Tat Sat.
Thank you, Kalyani. You have answered 2 questions and adhere to the time limit, which is really it is wonderful planning on your part. And what you have researched and told us has given us a lot of insight on Atma Jnanam, Karma Yoga, etc. Now, the next speaker is me. And my question is, giving up Raga Desha will it not make me indifferent and passive? How will I feel motivated to do anything? So this question of mine, I thought about it, and first we have to see what are Raga and Dvesha. Raga and Dvesha are seen as 2 of the greatest inner obstacles to peace and performance of right action. So what is Raga? It is a strong attachment or craving for something, maybe a person or an object or a situation, which we assume if I get that, I will get everlasting happiness. Raga pulls us toward what we like, even if it is harmful to us, and it binds us emotionally. Now, what is Dvesha? It is a strong dislike towards anything. Could be a person, situation, or object. It's something which we don't like. Like Raga, this also is a very strong emotion, and it is also a reaction that disturbs our mental clarity. Both Raga and Dvesha, they pull us towards confusion and delusion. So after actually seeing the definition of Raga and Dvesha, I conclude that no, giving up Raga and Dvesha will not make one passive or indifferent. In fact, it will lead to strength and motivation along with clarity of mind. Bhagavad Gita says that true actions come from inner clarity and not from attachment in the form of Raga and Dvesha. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3 and 38th verse, Bhagavan says, Durmanya virete vanhir yathadarso malena cha. As the fire is covered by smoke, knowledge is covered by desire in the form of raga. Hence, clarity is lost. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse 19, Lord tells to Arjuna, perform your duty without attachment. Act without clinging to the like and dislikes. This will free your mind and bring focus into your action. In Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 5, here Bhagavan also says us, he who neither hates what is going to come nor desire what does not, such a person is truly free. Let us connect this to Arjuna's predicament. He is confused and passive at the beginning because of raga, and that raga is attachment to family. And he has got dvesha at that moment. And what is that dvesha? Aversion to killing his loved ones. But in the end, he declares, Nashta moha. That is, my delusion is gone. I will act according to your instructions. He did not become indifferent. He became powerfully motivated to act rightly. And so will we if we let go of raga and dvesha. Om Tat Sat.
Very nice, Hema. Beautiful. Such an important topic Hema has addressed, you know. Raga Dvesha is the central psychology of the entire Gita. And Paramarthanandaji once said, if we can handle our Raga Dveshas in any role that life or Ishvara has placed us in, then 90% of the mental turbulence will go away. And yeah, but it's such a subtle shift in the mind, you know. Many people in the world will ask us, maybe our colleagues and friends, what? Give up attachment? Then how will I be motivated? So they want to climb up, you know, the corporate ladder or whatever. So that shift has to happen, and that's the purification. So, but we know now after Shastra Shravanam that it brings that inner rewards, no, in the form of peace and detachment and happiness, contentment. And I think that's the only way to live life, you know, intelligent and sane life. But yeah, it requires that shift. Very beautiful, Hema. Thank you. Let's continue.
Thank you, Amma. Thank you, Amma, for your words of encouragement. And now, after me, Vatsala is question 5 was for?
Yes, what is Naishkarmyam?
Yeah, I could name again. Okay, what is Naishkarmyam or actionlessness?
Yeah.
What does it mean? Right.
Om Gurubhyo Namaha. What is Naishkaryam is the topic. I start with Krishna saying, action is obligatory and no claim on the result. Karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbuhu mate sangos swakarmani. Krishna says you have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but are not entitled to the fruits of action. One should focus on performing their actions diligently without being attached to the results. This is the concept of Nishkama Karma or selfless action without attachment to the outcome and not take recourse to inaction. Krishna then reiterates, saying, it is not the intention of Gita to recommend renunciation for all. There is no doubt that liberation is the highest goal for all, and renunciation is the best path. But then, all are not ready for that. Then he goes on to say, Nakarmana manaramba naishkarmyam purushošnute nacha sannyasana deva siddhim samadhi gacchati. Actionless state, that is Naishkaryam, cannot be achieved by giving up action, nor does the person attain liberation out of mere renunciation, sannyasa. One who gives up action will not get the fruit of karma yoga. Such a person takes pride in saying, I have given up action. He does not realize the I notion has not left him. As long as he feels that he has given up action, he has consciously done action. Giving up is also an action. Krishna also makes a statement on human nature that none can sit idle, even for a single moment. More so, the human nature, which is a combination of the three gunas and cannot remain so. Naishkaryam is a state of being free from the chain bound by actions. It is translated as actionlessness, which does not mean no physical activity. It is a state of being where actions do not bind one to the cycle of karma, freedom from the binding effects of karma. It is not about renouncing action, but performing with a sense of detachment. The performing actions are an offering to Ishvara and accepting the results with grace. The goal for Naishkaryam is to attain liberation from the cycle of birth and death. This can be achieved through the practice of Nishkama Karma, self-realization, and spiritual knowledge. Karmyam is the final goal of Nishkama Karma, a state of being that is realized when one is fully detached from the fruits of action, when one performs without egoistic desires or attachment to result, which can be attained through Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Upasana Yoga. Om Tat Sat. Thank you, Ma.
Yes, Vatsala, that was not an easy question,
Thank you.
Karmyam.
Thank you.
Very completely she addressed the issue. And Puja Swamiji said once, this Naishkarmyam, word is the goal of, of life. And it is moksha, it is sarva karma sannyasa. Like, how she explained, even if I say I'm sitting quietly, I'm not doing anything. No, you are doing the action of sitting quietly. If I say I'm relaxing, simply sitting, not doing anything, even that is an action. So it is just that being, that awareness, which is the meaning of actionlessness. Thank you. You are muted.
Thank you. Yes, Amma. Thank you, Amma, for your insightful words on Vatsala ji's talk. And next speaker is Vijay Lakshmi. Vijay Lakshmi ji is going to answer this question. Are a householder's duty confined to just his family and loved ones, or does the duty extend to other aspects of creation? Please unmute yourself. Yes.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Video.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. Yes.
My video is not coming.
We can see you also.
Okay. In Bhakti Yoga, Bhagavan says, Sanniyam Yendriya Kramam Sarvatra Samabuddhayaha Te Prapnuvanti Mameva Sarvabhuta Hite Ratha. Sarvabhuta Hite Ratha, who are engaged in the welfare of all beings. Generally, the householder, both man and woman, with kind-heartedness, having concern for all their lives, take care of all the living beings as much as possible. We can quote a few examples to further expand this term, Sarvabhuta Hiterataha. Both man and woman in a house have duties not only to his family and loved ones, but also towards aspects of creation. A woman's duty begins from the morning she gets up. She cleans the frontage of their home and draws alpana or kolam. The material used for kolam is rice flour, arsimavu. She knows that this she does for the sake of ants. When she lights the oven, she prays to Agni and begins her cooking. After offering to God, she will offer it to crow, which will be waiting for her. The food is eaten on the plantain leaf, vada which is meant for cow, which visits her regularly, and a little food is kept in the corner of the leaf, is for the dog which comes eagerly for the food. The Tulasi Puja is to protect the Tulasi plant. On Fridays, a trip to nearby peepal tree, in the process of worshipping, water is given to the tree. Milk is poured on the Naga idols, which will be again for feeding the serpents living there. Thus, every aspect of a Grahastha's life is only to protect and nurture the nature. Man in the family has a wider outlook. He organizes tents for providing drinking water, and on the days of Nirjala Ekadasi, water and milk are offered to all people like rickshawalas, scooter riders and bus drivers, etc. On important days, Annadana is organized to feed the poor. Some of my friends who are retired teach the poor children by organizing classes under the railway bridges. The only expenses are the chalk and the board. Street dogs are also taken care and anti-rabies injections are given to the dogs. There are groups to do Vuravarapani, that is, to clean the outside of the dilapidated temples and tanks attached to the temple. What does all this show? You only need a will and a mind to serve your people. The children in the Scout movement are always ready to serve in any emergency situation. Naraseva is Narayana Seva. Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha.
I think Vijaya's, that word is so beautiful. Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. You know, if that can be our prayer, what a wonderful life of contribution it will be. Very, very good choice of that word, Vijaya.
Amma,
And-
that was very much inside the. I had to search and found this word.
Yes, yes.
It was hidden in that sloka.
Yes.
It took nearly 2 hours for me to find the appropriate word to use it here.
And also she gave such good examples, no, of contribution. And of course, grihasthas can really contribute in cash and all
That
the.
is there.
But others can contribute also by smile, you know, people can smile at each other more and also offering time and prayers, you know, when we sit and do Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, that will also reach some unfortunate person who needs that grace. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vijayalakshmi. Now we'll be conscious and we're doing our daily duties and we will
Yeah.
notice we are doing something for the creation. Now we have Gayatri ji. She is going to talk about answer the question, is the law of karma fair?
Highly debated question.
Yes. A tough question which I did not dare to choose.
Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. In fact, whatever I have written, I don't think I have covered all the points. Anyhow, let me rush it down.
Don't worry.
Is the law of karma fair? The fairness of the law of karma is a question that arises in every. Sorry,
Please
some
continue. I muted. Please continue.
Oh, sorry. The fairness of the law of karma is a question that arises in every sincere seeker's heart. From a spiritual perspective, karma is fair, but its workings are subtle and deeply complex. As Bhagavan says in the verse 4.17, Karmano yavi bhotavyam, bhotavyam cha vikarmana, akarmana cha bhotavyam, kehna karmano gadihi. Know the swarupa of karma. The path of karma is very difficult to comprehend. Karma operates across lifetime through Sanchita karma, Prarabdha karma, and Agami karma. The karma karma ensures justice not in one birth, but across many. It works through cause and effect based on intentions, not just actions. This is why Bhagavan rewards Shraddha and Chitta Shuddhi more than intellectual brilliance. Once a journalist by name Balakrishnan went to Shivananda's ashram in Rishikesh to expose the Guru, whom he thought was a fraud. This happened before we got independence. But the experience with the wise people and the sadhus transformed him completely from being a skeptic to an enthusiast and finally becoming Swami Chinmayananda. This shows how karma gives each of us a chance to evolve using free will within the framework of law of karma. Now, let's see the law of karma from the Vedantic perspective. Cause and effect. You reap what you sow. Positivity brings positive results and harmful intentions lead to pain. This is cosmic justice. Accountability. Karma encourages only personal responsibility. We are not puppets of fate. We are participants in divine system that allows us to grow. Moral order and cosmic justice. It suggests that no good deed goes unrewarded and no harm goes unaddressed. If not in this life, the consequences will manifest in future lives. This provides an understanding of apparent injustices to innocent people that we witness. Natural disasters, wars, or pandemics may be difficult to understand, but they are all part of larger cosmic balancing rooted in Ishvara's order. Each one, in some ways, has already contributed to the collective karma reservoir. When a group of people share such similar karmic debts, they may collectively share the same karma pala. This we often call it as collective karma, and it is also under debate and discussion. Verse 7.13 reminds us that under the influence of Trigunatmika Maya, this truth is very hard to perceive. Then learning and evolution. Even collective suffering can lead to social transformation, like the Nobel laureate Kailash Satyarthi's fight against child labor. Or you take Anand Kumar, who could not get into IIT. He's from a very humble background, but he got a placement in Cambridge University. But he was unable to attend due to financial constraints. But as 6.5 verse 6.5 states,
your time is exceeded by 30 seconds. Please wrap up.
Oh my God. Udaret, okay. With Vairaga, he lifted himself, founded the Super 30 program, and started training the underprivileged IIT aspirants like him. So, in the karmic law, intent matters more than outcome. True, as 17.14 to 16 says, true action needs manas, walk, and kaya, guided by austerity and purity. Think of Kannappa Nayanar. Okay, so he is the best example that bhakti intention outweighs ritual and scriptural knowledge. Amma, shall I take 1 more minute? Please.
Yes, please.
Yes, because this is okay. Now, from the human perspective, victim blaming, saying someone deserved their suffering because karma can lead to a loss of empathy and seva mentality. The lack of access to past lives. We don't remember our past lives. So karma may appear unfair when good people suffer. At the same time, how else do we explain the prodigies like Pragyananda and human computer Shakuntala Devi? So these are all suggest that vasanas carry over lifetimes. Free will versus determinism. Determinism. If birth, family, circumstances are shaped by prarabdha, what freedom do we really have? But Gita 15.8 reminds us that the Siddhabhasha Jiva carries vasanas from life to life, but still retains the power to choose and grow. Didn't Krishna also leave the choice to Arjuna to fight or not to fight after his Upadesha? Thus, law of karma is not fate. It's a divine system of accountability and owing the responsibility. It upholds free will, explains inequality, and allows liberation for anyone with a pure heart at any stage of life, regardless of any background or knowledge of scripture. So it is just unfair. Sorry.
No problem.
Sorry, what did you say in the end, Gayatri? It is
fair.
No, we heard this.
You know, this we say karma is a great shock absorber. You know, Hindus believe that. That's what the West says. But the West also says Hindus are so fatalistic. But I think Gayatri explained that well, no? How it is an interplay of both, effort and what faces me in any situation. So that is a very important point. Thank you, Gayatri.
I'm sorry, Amma, I have taken anything.
No problem. I understand. It's an important topic.
Yes, I know.
Gayatri Jain, yes, you have done a lot of research and you want to share with us. So that is nice. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, Niharika ji will be answering the question. It's gone ahead. How is Rajasic happiness, which is like nectar in the beginning, turned to poison in the end? Then how is Sattvic happiness the other way around? Niharika?
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. With regards to this question, I would like to chant the 2 verses of the 18th chapter, verse 37 and 38. Yattadagre vishamiva pariname amrutopamam tatsukam satvikam proktam atmabuddhi prasadajam vishayendriya sanyogat yattadagre amrutopamam pariname vishamiva tatsukam rajasamsmritam. So, what is happiness? There are three types of happiness. and Sukham means happiness here. So every human instinctively craves for happiness, and but there's a choice for human beings with regards to which type of happiness he should choose. Like for example, in desiring for food, like there is no choice, but what type of food I want, then there is a choice, whether it is a junk food or healthy food or vegetarian food. So similarly, with regards to entertainment, anywhere, everywhere, with regards to the happiness from the external sources, there is a choice which we can make. So by abhyasa, by training, you can learn to enjoy a sattvic sukham or a rajasic sukham or a tamasic sukham. So first, let me come to what is this rajasic pleasure. So Krishna defines that the pleasure which is born out of the sensory contact is the rajasic sukham. That is, we have the five sense organs and the sense objects, shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha. So with association of these, like for example, nice music, picture, and all, the contact born, the ananda which we receive from these, that is rajasic sukham. But is this permanent? No, this is not permanent. And when we have to part from it, then it is very painful. So because you cannot hold on to any object permanently, kalam brings a separation. So sanyoga and viyoga is because of kala, and when viyoga comes, it is very painful. So the sensory pleasure is like poison, but at the start, it is like a pleasure. And coming to what is the Sattvika Sukham? Sattvika Sukham is the spiritual joy. Spiritual joy, that is the Atma Jnanam which we receive. This Ananda is permanent. And what is the root which we have already seen in the answers from Kalyani Bala and little bit and from Hema already, the Karma Yoga and the Raga Dvesha. So the entire path which we know, the Karma Yoga, Chitta Shuddhi, all this till the Atma Jnanam, this is an uphill task and it requires lot of discipline. At Karma Yoga level, we need a lot of discipline because it's not easy to detach from the Karma Phalam. And Raga Dvesha, which we are all binded with, not easy to give away. And hence, in this uphill task, it will seem to be a poison at the start. But if we are able to conquer it with the help of Sadhana Chatushya Sampanna, and then with Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, ultimately the Atma Buddhi here is Atma Jnanam. So
Niharika ji,
there we receive Ananda.
thoughts? You're exceeding the time.
I'm done. So this Anandam is permanent, and hence at the starting it seems to be like a poison, but at the end it is Amritam. Om Tat Sat.
Thank you, Niharika ji. Yes. So Omni Amma do you have anything to say, Amma? Is Amma there?
No, I think, yeah, she explained it very well. And Satvik and Rajasic happiness, very nice, Niharika. There is some minor, like, we'll have doubts. Oh, should I give up my coffee and my tea and all? Because Gita says it's Rajasic. So Puja Swamiji will say even Krishna had Raga Dveshas, he liked peacock feather, he liked cows. So just to prove the point that harmless, non-binding Raga Dveshas are okay, but anything in excess, that is to be examined and removed. Okay,
Yes.
next.
Thank you, Niharika. Now Shubhaji will be answering the question. How does Ishvara, who dwells in the heart of all, cause all beings to revolve like puppets by his power of Maya?
Oh, very subtle question.
Hari Om, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Now I'm going to talk about my takeaways of verse 61 of chapter 18. The sloga reads like that. Ishvara sarva bhudanam hridde jeshuna tishtadi brahmayan sarva bhudani yantra rudhani mayayaha. Sri Krishna tells in this verse, O Arjuna, the Ishvara dwells in the heart of all beings
revolving them by his power of Maya as if they were objects mounted on the machine. Ishvara is seated in the art space or in the intelligence space of all beings. This means that one can realize Ishvara within himself if one gains self-knowledge. Ishvara is the Nimitta Karanam of Brahman, the pure consciousness. The reflected consciousness of Brahman, that is Ishvara, resides in all jivas as Jivatma and lends sentient to Jiva. This is the Jivatma and Paramatma Aikyam. This Ishvara is just a seer, Drik or Sarchit Chaitanyam. As per Kena Upanishad, he is the eye of eye, ear of ear, and so on. Ishvara is not a personal deity. He is the cosmic lawmaker, Karmapala Dada, and ensures the results of their deed. Now let us talk about Maya Shakti. Maya Shakti is the Upadana Karanam of Ishvara. It is inert in nature. Ishvara, by his Maya Shakti, manifests, sustains, and dissolves the universe. Maya Shakti of Ishvara, with its Trigunatmika, shapes the universe with its qualities. Subhavam of Jiva are born out of Prakriti. Maya, with its power of Vikshepa and Avarna, mounts all ignorant jivas on the wheel of samsara. Due to Avarna Shakti of Maya, the jivas are ignorant of their true nature as Brahman and caught in the samsaric chakra. Like a merry-go-round wheel in an amusement park, all jivas are going in the sorry-go-round of samsara chakra. Ishvara is like the main operator of the merry-go-round wheel. Freedom of jiva is not possible until the jiva uses his or her free will. Free will, as per chapter 11 of Gita, is action of jiva if it aligns with the dharma. One can, to some extent, overcome his fate. By using free will, jiva surrenders to Ishvara and gains chitta suddhi. Then jnanam eva moksha is possible. Even we can take the example of car, where the fuel of the car is not deciding the direction. Rather, the driver of the car only decides the direction and the destination. Ishvara is the like fuel. The driver, the jiva, only has to decide the preyo or shreyo marga to reach the moksha, the ultimate destination. One thing, all these are possible only in Manusha Janma. Even in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Bhagavan was only the charioteer. He never took the weapon. His presence was there and he knew the outcome of the war. The Arjuna, Jivatma, who was on chariot, body, surrendered himself to Sri Krishna. By Ishvara Kripa, he won the battlefield. Om Tat Sat.
Very nice, Shubha. I think her question is connected to Gayatri Ramgopal's, no, on karma.
Yes.
How Ishvara is determining where, who should be, what one should be doing. It's a powerful force of Maya. And really, there is no other solution than Sharanagati.
Yes, thank you, Shubhaji. And you reminded us of the power of free will. The next, we have Dr. Kumuda, who is going to answer the question, how is essence of Karma Yoga presented in the famous capsule verse of 65?
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. The slokas 65 and 66 are the essence of entire Bhagavad Gita and considered as the Antima Upadesha of Bhagavan Shri Krishna to Arjuna. Sloka 65 is the essence of Karma Yoga. All the types of yogas, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Upasana Yoga, everything are embedded in this sloka. Here, Shri Krishna is not talking as an avatar or son of Devaki or Sarathi of Arjuna, but talking from the standpoint of supreme reality as Nirguna Parabrahma Ishvara. Bhagavan Sri Krishna explains how to seek this Parabrahma, how to become a Parama Bhakta. Bhagavan gives 5 steps to reach this ultimate stage. Manmana bhava madbhattaha madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi tatyamte pratijane priyosi me. Similar sloka is seen in 34th verse of chapter 9, Rajavidya Rajaguhya Yoga chapter. Initially, we are all busy in Pravarti Marga, having various needs to fulfill. Bhagavan says, if you want to fulfill your desires, you invoke me, Mat Bhaktaha Baba. I will help you to fulfill all your needs. Be devoted to me. This is Sakama Bhakti with Ishvara Prasada Buddhi. Gradually upgrade yourself to Nishkama Bhakti and become a Jignasu, Mat Parayanaha. You make me your ultimate goal. Worldly goals are finite, which cannot give lasting happiness. Then Bhagavan says, Manmana Bhava, develop your mind totally committed to me. Make me the constant Shruti in your daily life. Prioritize me, just like a musician who is constantly aware of his background Shruti. In the same way, constant Bhagavad Chintanam should be there, and one should not lose sight of Ishvara as a goal. Then Bhagavan says, Madhyaji Bhava, offer all your actions to me. One should perform all the actions in one's life as Ishvara Arpana, as if the whole life is an yajna. One should connect every moment of life as mind purification. Bhagavan says, dedicate all your actions to me as a karma yogi. Then Bhagavan says, Mam namaskuru. Surrender to me. Do sharanagati. Do atmanivedanam. Do all the actions. Understanding should be whatever happens in one's life, either good or bad, accept it as grace of Ishvara only. That is Ishvara Prasada Buddhi. In this way, if one prepares his mind, evolves spiritually, Bhagavan gives the assurance of attaining him only. Gaining Ishvara means understanding that Ishvara is not in a different loka, but Ishvara as a Sakshi Tattvam in oneself. Such a Nishkamak Bhakta or Karma Yogi spiritually
overshooting time. You can
only one sentence, that's all.
Yes.
Spiritually evolves from ignorance to knowledge with the guidance of a guru, with Atma Kripa, Guru Kripa, Shastra Kripa, and Ishvara Kripa, will attain Atma Tattvam and will ever be a Parama Bhakta. Om Tat Sat.
Thank you, Kumadaji. You got out beautifully the essence of verse 65 based on the concept of Karma Yoga. Now we move ahead to the next speaker. Sudhaji is going to answer the question, how does Krishna assure as Paramatma the release of the Jiva from all Papa and Punya in the Charma Shloka 18.66? Sudhaji.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. In the beginning itself, I seek permission from Amma. I may exceed a little bit because this sloka is such that lot of misinterpretation of this sloka is there. So to clear that, some explanation, I will try to finish by 3 minutes anyway. If not, please allow me.
Yes, ma'am.
Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tva sarva papebhyah mochayishyami ma shuchah. This is the Charama Shloka of Bhagavad Gita, where entire Jnana Yoga is summarized by Krishna in this shloka. As I already told, many words in this shloka are misinterpreted. So we have to go deep into the meaning to get the exact what Krishna wants to convey. Krishna says,
Sarva dharman parityajya. So literally it means renounce all dharmas. How can Krishna say like this? He himself has taken avatara to establish dharma only. So here we have to take dharma as karma. Dharma will include adharma also, both punya and papa karma, which hold to us like a glue. So Krishna wants us to renounce all karmas. Is it possible to renounce karmas? We are all bound by, even for a chanam, we cannot remain without karma. Krishna himself has told that in an earlier chapter, because of Trigunatmika Maya. All karmas take place in our body-mind complex, in the anatma components. So, as long as we identify with our body and mind, we cannot renounce these karmas. We think we are the karta. So what is the solution? Through knowledge, we have to realize I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am not the doer. So what Krishna wants us is Deha Abhimana Tyaga, and through that Kartratva Tyaga. This is the first step which Krishna gives in that Jnana Yoga. So now that we have understood the first step, what next? If I am not the body and mind, what am I? For that, by Ishvara Kripa, we have to understand I am the Akarta, Abhokta, Atma. Then only we can become free from all karmas. What should we do for that? For that, Krishna says, Mamekam Sharanam Braja. Here, every word we have to understand clearly. Mam. Krishna calls himself Mam. Which Krishna? The Ishta Devata, Ekarupa Krishna, or Aneka Rupa, Vishwarupa Krishna, or Arupa, Nirguna Paramatma Krishna, which Krishna he means. For that, the word Ekam gives the clue. Ekam Advitiyam refers to Nirguna Parabrahman, which is beyond time and space. So that is what Krishna means here. You take Sharanagati to that Nirguna Tattvam, that is what he says. And Vraja, he says, approach to me. Actually, who will we approach? Only if somebody is away from his. So approach also we have to interpret as to drop that false notion that Brahman is away from us. He is part of us. That false notion we have to drop. So Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja means we have to do Vedanta Vichara to take Sharanagati. Again, Sharanagati, what does it mean here? Shankaracharya clearly explained, here Sharanagati means attaining Atmanya. That is what he wants. So attaining Atmanyanam is the solution to renounce all our karmas. So how to attain that Atmanyanam? For that we have to approach a guru and go in doing all your sadhanas, asranam, mananam, manidityasanam. Then we can reach that goal. Our ignorance will get dropped and we will realize Aham Brahmasmi. Then if this happens, then what is going to be the Jnana Phalam? Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Moksha Ishyami, Krishna says. He will say, he will remove all our sins. Again, here we have to take it figuratively. He will remove not only our Papa Karma, he has to remove our Punya Karma also. Because Punya Karma are also as binding as Papa Karma. If Papa Karma is iron chain, Punya Karma is golden chain. One can continue to do Punya Karma without the feeling of doership. That will give him favorable situations and Guru Prapti and all that. But both the karmas have to be pardoned, then only we can attain that moksha. So finally, Krishna will take you to that final goal, moksha, that is the Jnana Phalam, he says. So finally, after attaining moksha, what happens? Krishna says, Ma Shuchaha. There will not be any grief because grief happens only in Anatma. Once we attain that moksha, we are one with Nirguna Parabrahma, there is no more grief. So I just end with one sentence which Amma quoted in the first Gita Upadesha Sloka 2.11 also. Krishna says, Jnanis, they don't grieve. So here he says, you don't grieve again to Arjuna. That means right from the first sloka and in the ending sloka, Krishna says, don't grieve. That is why Gita itself is the source to get that permanent happiness. Om Tat Sat.
Om Tat Sat. Sudhaji, that was a beautiful explanation for this beautiful sloka, the Charma shloka. Yes, and you really brought to in detail, step by step, you have described it to us. We, like students, listen to your beautiful explanation. Now we go to the next speaker, and we have two people addressing this question. So first we'll start with Dr. Padma. The question is, with whom should the Gita teachings not be shared with, and why? Chapter 18, verse 67.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. I would like to chant the slokam. Idam te na tapaskaya na bhaktaya kadachana na cha shushrusave vacham na cha mam yobhyas uyati. Gita teachings should not be shared with one who lacks religious discipline, no devotion, no bhakti, no faith, no willingness or desire to learn. We should not force to these kind of people who only find fault with Bhagwan when there is nothing. Only a person with punya, having lived a religious life, yagna, dana, tapas, in previous life, can have interest to study and be inspired to keep it private. Thank you, Amma.
Thank you, Dr. Padma, for that very succinct and good explanation for this question. Now, will Divya unmute yourself? Can you unmute yourself and answer the same question? Yes.
In verse 67, Lord Krishna states that the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita is not suitable for everyone and should not be taught to everyone. It should not be taught to people who possess the following traits, such as the one who lacks tapas, that is, the one who has no religious discipline, to the one who is not a bhakta, that is, one who does not have any devotion. It should also not be taught to the one who has no sushrusha, that is, the desire or willingness to listen. It should also not be taught to the one who criticizes or finds fault with the Bhagwan when there is none, because it will be of no use, as it would be like sowing seeds in a barren land and it will bear no fruit. It may impact our enthusiasm also if we listen to their criticism. Om Tassat. Thank you.
Thank you, Divya. Yes, you have reminded us about this important concept that whom we should not share the Gita thoughts with. Thank you. And now we go to the next speaker, and that is Indraji. And her question is, how does Arjuna finally respond? And what is his final decision? This is from chapter 18, verse 73.
Om Amma. Let me recite the 73rd sloka of the 18th chapter. Nashto moha smriti labdha tvat prasadan maya chuta sthitosmi gata sandeha karishye vachanam tava. Arjuna said, Krishna, by your grace, my delusion has fled and wisdom has gained by me. I stand devoid of all doubts now, and I have decided to do as you say. Arjuna had now no doubt left in his mind about virtues, glory, and the divinity of the Lord Krishna. He first treated him as his friend and now requested Krishna to forgive him for all his previous behaviors. With the disappearance of delusion, born of his ignorance, the light of divine wisdom had dawned in his mind, leaving nothing unknown to him. He becomes Smriti Labdha. He came to know about the manifest and unmanifest aspects, also about the nature of virtue and sin, and what he should do and what he should abstain from, and the unsteadiness of his mind had completely vanished. He became Stitasmi Gata Sandeha. Lastly, Arjuna felt that by the Lord's grace he had attained the object of his life, thus had no duty left for him. So he was prepared to do as the Lord told him, and he would fight in the interest of the world order according to the Lord's direction as a mere instrument. Like Arjuna, we should also leave attachment and do our Swadharma, even if it has defects, and should have a strong belief in Ishvara and follow Krishna's teachings. Om Amma, Om Tat Tat.
Thank you, Indraji. Yes, as you rightly say, we also like Arjuna should finally be rid of all our confusion and go down the right path as told by the Lord. The next speaker, again, the next question has got two people addressing it. We have Lakshmi Mami and Lakshmi Ji. Both of them will answer. First, Lakshmi Mami, you will answer the question. Describe Sanjaya's feeling as a remote student of Gita. How does he summarize the whole Gita Upadesha in the last verse of chapter 80, 78th verse?
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. As Indraji has just explained, in the 17th verse of Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, Arjuna said, "O Achyuta, because of your blessings, my delusion is gone and I have gained recognition of myself. I will obey whatever you say." Then Sanjaya expresses his feelings to complete the Gita Shastra. O king, in this way I heard the dialogue between Paramatma Krishna and Mahatma Arjuna, which is wonderful and make one's hair stand on end. Not only that, I heard the most secret yoga from the Yogeshwara Krishna himself directly. The Jnana Chakshu I received by the grace of Vedavyasa, by which it is taught by the Lord to Arjuna, I could hear directly with my ears. This is not heard by someone and retold by someone. I am the most fortunate to hear everything then and there, whatever happening at Kurukshetra, and could convey to you. What a wonderful experience I had. Hey Rajan, I am feeling more and more happy to think of this wondrous and auspicious dialogue between the Lord Keshava and his Shishya Arjuna, and rejoicing again and again. Further, thinking of that Vishwarupa Darshanam of Bhagavan Hari, repeatedly recalling, I have great amazement, I rejoice again and again. Now, Sanjaya continues the last sloka of the Gita Shastra. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishnaha, Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha, Tatra Shir Vijayo Bhutihi, Dhruvani Tirma Tirmama. Shankaracharya explains this in his Bhashyam. Yatra Sarva Yoganam Ishwaraha, Tat Prabhavatvat Sarva Yoga Bijasya Cha Krishnaha, Yatra Parthaha Dhanurdharaha, Tatra Shihi Pandavanam Pakshe Vijaya Evam Bhutihi. Avyabhicharini Nitihi, Nayaha Iti Evam Mati Mama. Finally concludes as if it is a warning to Dhritarashtra. Sanjaya said, wherever the Yogeshwara Krishna and Gandhivadari Vijaya, there Rajalakshmi, victory and Aishwaryam and definite justice are present. This is my opinion. Sarva Yogeshwara, Sarva Yoga Bija Krishna, and the greatest archer Dhananjaya stand in whose part that Pandava Paksha will be blessed with victory, various riches, and the perfect justice. This is my conclusion. In this way, Sanjaya concludes the last chapter. We are also very fortunate to listen this Ashtadashadhyayini Gita Shastram and rejoice again and again, which was taught by Amma with her own beautiful examples and guided all of us in this Shastra Pathanam. Dhanyavadaha Amma. Om Tat Sat.
Thank you, Lakshmi Mami. Yes, very true. We also are very, very blessed. And the ones outside Secunderabad, we are the remote students who get the teachings and all the learnings of Bhagavad Gita, very nicely explained. The same question will be addressed by Lakshmi Ji, Lakshmi Julie.
Om to all. Sanjaya, the minister to the Kuru clan, experiences a mix of profound joy and spiritual awakening as he witnesses the divine dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna. Sage Vyasa granted him the divine vision, and hence he was able to witness the events in the Kurukshetra battlefield. Let us now look at the emotions that Sanjaya feels. Wonder and awe. He experiences at one point goosebumps, Roma Harshava, when he witnesses the divine form of the Lord and the cosmic vision. Joy and bliss. Time and again, he expresses rejoicing at hearing this divine dialogue and seeing the Lord's divine form. This is an indication of the spiritual joy and bliss that Sanjaya experienced. Spiritual insight. As a remote student, he gains insights into the nature of dharma, karma, and the self through the teachings. He understands the connections between karma and karma phalam and the importance of carrying out one's swadharma. Transformation. Sanjaya's was not just a passive observation. He himself is personally transformed by this divine knowledge that he had been granted the grace to receive. This leads him to a deeper understanding of the complexities in the life of a jiva. He derives a more meaningful perspective in his own role as a minister and advisor to the Kuru clan. Before the commencement of the war, Sanjaya, in his role, had advised Dhritarashtra against this folly. His advice went unheeded. The final verse of the Bhagavad Gita is the most important shloka. Metamorphically, it can be considered as the dhwaja, the flag that flies up atop the Gita temple. The summary of the entire Gita has been encapsulated in the 18th chapter, and in turn, the summary of the teachings of the 18th chapter has been captured in essence in this shloka. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara, Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutihi, Dhruva Netir Matir Mama. Here, Yogeshwara represents wisdom and Arjuna resembles the Purushartha or the efforts that one puts into any endeavor. The body is the Ratha and Sri Krishna the Sarathi. Praising the cosmic form of the Lord, Sanjaya summarizes the entire Gita. He says, where there is the Lord of all yogas and the wielder of the bow Arjuna, who has obtained clarity and is now willing to do his swadharma, that is, fight the war, victory is assured. So also for all the enlightened jivas, Shri, wealth, Vijaya, victory, that is mastery over the senses, Bhutihi, prosperity and good health, and Niti, dharma, will be granted and will abide. In other words, where there is a blend of action and knowledge and Ishvara Kripa, all the above will prevail. When one remembers Ishvara in all that one does, the situations and experiences one undergoes, one achieves success. What is this success? It is nothing but the Jiva Ishvara bond, which is the most fundamental.
Overshooting the time.
I'm finished. Is the most fundamental and eternal. Tat Vam Tvam Asi. Only when Sri Krishna is the charioteer of the chariot, that is our body, will one obtain success and glory. Om Tat Sat.
Thank you, Lakshmi ji. Thank for the imagery of the flag. This verse is like a flag. It really, resonates with us. And yes, if we follow all this, victory will always be ours. Next, we move on to the next question, the 15th question. Mayura. Mayura ji, you have come?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So the question is, how can I apply wisdom of Gita or Vedanta in my daily life?
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Vedanta is a science which illuminates our life and removes darkness from our path. To integrate Vedanta into our daily life based on the Bhagavad Gita, we have to focus on the understanding of our true self, that is Atman, as separate from the body and mind, and to practice detachment from the outcomes, that is Vairagya, and performing actions with a sense of duty, that is Karma Yoga, and cultivating a balanced and mindful approach to life. The few main points which motivates and gives us knowledge in our daily life are, first is self-realization, that is Atma Jnanam. Bhagavad Gita emphasizes the difference between the impermanent body and the eternal soul. By recognizing that you are not the body or mind, but rather a soul, you can detach from the dualities of life, like pleasure and pain, success and failure, which leads to a more stable and peaceful state of mind. Second is karma yoga, that is action without detachment. Gita encourages us to perform our duties without attachments to the results. It helps us in focusing on the location, on the action itself, dedicating our efforts to the task at hand with sincerity and diligence rather than being concerned of the outcome. Third is equanimity or samatva. We have to cultivate a balanced mind free from all the extremes of elation and depression. This involves accepting both success and failure, joy and sorrow, with a sense of equanimity. The mental stability allows us to navigate life's challenges with greater clarity and grace. Fourth is mindfulness and self control. We should not be carried away by our thoughts and emotions. We have to develop self control, particularly in managing anger and other negative emotions, as they can cloud the judgment and lead to poor decisions. We must dedicate our actions towards fulfilling our purpose of life. Fifth is seeking guidance, that is Guru Kripa. By seeking guidance from a qualified guru, Bhagavad Gita helps us to apply its teachings in a practical and personalized way by providing profound wisdom in our spiritual journey. Sixth is study and reflection, that is regular study of Bhagavad Gita can gradually transform our thinking and understanding of its profound knowledge. By applying these principles in our daily life, we can quote Ishvara's word, that is, Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya, Jivo Brahmeva Napara. That it means Brahman is real, the world is unreal. The individual soul is identical with Brahman. We can meditate on this saying. Om Tat Sat.
Let me unmute myself. I'm sorry. Thank you, Mayuraji. As you rightly said, Gita is like a life manual. We can refer to it for all aspects of our life. Now, the next question is, which chapter of the Gita is your favorite? Which appealed to you and why? Chitra cannot join us today due to power failure in Secunderabad. So I request Vani Devi.
Chitra is there, Hema.
Has she come? Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Chitra, you have come. I'm sorry. I thought you were not coming. Yes, then we will have Chitra and then Vani Devi answering the same question. Please go ahead.
Mama, the chapter that appeals to me most is chapter 13. This chapter is profound chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Why chapter 13 appeals? This chapter to understand the distinction between Kshetra and Kshetrajnaha. It pushes us to ask, who am I? It strongly aligns with Vedantic teachings, especially the idea that the body and the mind are only instruments and the true self is pure consciousness. It shows that spiritual growth is not just about intellect, but character. Amanitvam, adambitvam, ahimsa, shanti, arjavam, ityadi. Krishna teaches that one who truly sees the one in all beings and all beings in the one. Verse number 27. This oneness of the self in all living beings leads to compassion and inner peace. Slogan number 2. Kshetrajna Chabhima Vidhi Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata Kshetra Kshetrajnayor Jnanam Yattat Jnanam Matam Mama. Know me, O Arjuna, as the Kshetrajna in all Kshetra. Krishna reveals that the self in all beings is ultimately himself. The Supreme Brahman is the light of all lights, beyond darkness, and is to be known through the heart. Example, let's say I'm facing a difficult situation. I would say I'm suffering. But chapter
13 teaches me this body is the field. The pain is happening in the body or mind, but I am not the witness. The who observes that this shift in understanding brings peace and inner strength. Instead of identifying with suffering, I can step back and realize I am the knower of this field. I am not the pain. Dhanyavadaha.
Chitraji, the talk has inspired us to go and revisit chapter 13 and read it once more to get all these beautiful insights that you have got from it. Now, Avani Devi, all the way from Germany. Yes, she's coming and also answering the same question. Please unmute yourself.
Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. My most favorite chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is the second, because it's the most important chapter and describes all topics, starting with the despair of Arjuna in verse 2:7. Here Arjuna becomes the disciple of Krishna, and the teaching starts with verse 11. There are three very important topics. The first topic, life and death, how to live and how to die. There is no cause for grief. Interesting for everyone, because everyone has to leave his physical body. 2:11 to 2:25, the core of Vedanta, the nature of Atman. The shadow of a tree can't be destroyed like the Atman, said Swamini Sumananda. Purpose of life, pariksha, self-examination, and moksha, freedom. Verse 2:22 is good for condolence letters. It's perhaps important for some people. The second topic is Karma Yoga, 2:38 to 2:53, how to give up attachment to status, name, how to fame and bhoga, and how to develop an attitude towards our action in verse 2:37. Raga Dvesha management, 248 and 250, the most known verses of the chapter, how to develop samatvam, equanimity, and karma sukhaushalam, skills in action. How to recognize that you are not the body, not the sense organs, neither nor the mind, neither nor the intellect. You are awareness. This awareness is limitless and non-dual. This is Sankhya, the name of the chapter. And there is only one all-pervasive awareness in which all objects exist. All you get is prasada, buddhi. How to handle a situation without making new karma palam. And the third topic is Tita Pratnya, how to become a Tita Pratnya, and how he is, verse 254 to 272. How is someone when he is a Tita Pratnya? The body is very clear. Atman is going to make human experiences. Proper desire management, no desires in mind, no raga dvesha, no fear, no attachment. And Atmanyana never becomes a victim of sense organs. For becoming a Stita Pratnya, you have to control your mind, the sense organs. They are like the horses of our yatra, our journey. And being a Stita Pratnya means being the boss, being totally free through viveka and vairagya, also through discrimination and desirelessness. Hari Om Tat Sat, Dhanyavad.
Dhanyavad, Vaniji. Indeed, it is such a beautiful chapter. And along with you, many of us also here may be feeling that this is also one of our favorite chapters where the Upanishad starts, the teaching starts, and you have brought out beautifully each aspect of this chapter. Thank you so much. Now, move ahead to Uma. Uma is going to answer the question 17. Why was Gita taught only to Arjuna and not to the other Pandavas? Umaji?
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Amma Namaskaram. In the Purvashrama, Arjuna and Sri Krishna were twins sages, Nara and Narayana, twin incarnations of Vishnu. Perhaps Mahabharata identifies the same Purvajanma connection, continuing as Krishna, the divine power, and Arjuna as human. Hence, the Guru-Sishya connection also continuing in the Kurukshetra war stage, aptly set for Gitobadesha. Arjuna was chosen to receive the Gitopadesha because of his unique combination of qualities. Arjuna shared a deep bond of love and friendship with Krishna, making him receptive to Krishna's teachings. Arjuna's confusion and hesitation to fight his own relatives on the battlefield presented a relatable dilemma for anyone facing difficult choice in life. Arjuna openly admitted his confusion and asked guidance from Krishna by telling his willingness to learn and grow spiritually. कार्पण्यदोषोपगतस्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः यस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि धन्मे शिष्यस्देहं चादिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम्. Arjuna told to Krishna, now I am confused about my duty. In this condition, I am your student. Please tell me that which is best for me. Please teach me who has taken refuge in you. Yudhishthira, while also a wise and a righteous character, was not in the same state of moral and emotional crisis as Arjuna at that moment. His understanding of dharma was more established. Bhima was primarily known for his physical strength. His role in the war was to fight and defeat his enemies. So Krishna chose Arjuna, who was great warrior and has possessed qualities like surrender and detachment, making him suitable to receive the pure knowledge of the Gita. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha Tatra Srirvishayo Budhir Dhrivani Dhirmatir Mama. Wherever there is Krishna, the Lord of Yoga, wherever there is Arjuna, the one who bears the bow, their wealth, victory, various riches, and definite justice are present. Dhanyavadaha.
Thank you, Umaji. Yes, as you have rightly expressed to us that the teacher and the student, the relationship and the teacher identifying the ideal student, the student doing Sharnagati to the teacher. And that's how Gita was given to Arjuna and not to anyone else. Now we go to the next question. Deepa is not here today because of her pet is not well. So we would like to hear her speak and answer her question in the next coming class. So we will go ahead to the next question. Next question 19. Suganya could not join us, I think. Are you there? Did you join late? No, I cannot see you. So we will, Amma, shall we go to the next question?
Yes, last question.
Yes, so we go to the last question now. This will be addressed by Jayashri. Question is, how do the 18 chapters of Gita unfold the Mahavakyam Tat Tvam Asi?
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Can you hear me, Amma?
Yes, we can.
The Bhagavad Gita literally means Song of the Lord. The text begins with the word Dharma. Chapter 1.1 Dhritarashtra Uvacha Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yuyutsavaha Mamaka Pandavas Chaiva Kimakurvata Sanjaya, and ends with the word Mama. Chapter 18.78 Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha Tatra Shrir Vijayo Bhutir Dhruvani Tirmatir Mama. Together, Mama and Dharma, they mean my essential being. It signifies the theme of the Gita, that the purpose of life is to realize one's essential being, to discover the supreme self within, attain spiritual enlightenment. Jnanameva moksha. The Gita contains 701 verses spread over 18 chapters.
The 18 chapters can be divided into 3 sets of 6 chapters. And the 3 sets explain and elaborate the supreme Mahavakyam of the Vedas, essence of the Upanishads, Tat Tvam Asi, that thou art. You are that Param Brahma. The first 6 chapters, 1 to 6, explain Tvam Padam. From chapter 2, Sankhya Yoga about the Jiva being a part of the immortal Atma Tattvam, through chapters 3, 4, and 5, defining what is Karma Yoga, how it leads to Upasana and Atma Samyama. The middle 6 sections, 7 to 12, the middle 6 chapters, 7 to 12, explain Tat Padam, revealing the Swarupa of Ishvara, his cosmic form, his infinite vibhutis, how creation manifests, leading to Bhakti Yoga. The last 6 chapters, chapter 13 to 18, explains Asi Padam, shows the Jiva Ishvara Aikyam. Tvam represents Atma within, Tat represents the Supreme Paramatma, Asi indicates the Atma in you and Paramatma are one. Tat Tvam Asi, you are that. The Gita leads one to the ultimate state of total surrender. We can see how Arjuna was lovingly and gradually uplifted by Bhagavan from his state of shoka, despondency, due to moha, delusion, in a logical progression through karma yoga, bhakti yoga to jnana yoga, to finally liberation from sorrow. In conclusion, the Bhagavad Gita gives a philosophy of life which can be translated into practical living in one's social, official, and domestic life. The 18 chapters flow into one another, presenting a beautiful sequence of thought. Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru. Om Tat Sat.
Thank you, Jayashriji. I thought this was a perfect question to end the Mananam questions, and you have done so much justice to this perfect question with such a beautiful, I would say from my side, perfect explanation. Thank you so much. I hand over the speech to Swamini Amma. All the questions are done, Amma.
Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. I must say that it was such a loaded session today, loaded, enriching session today. And I can definitely say with confidence that Krishna has lit the lamp of knowledge in all of you. And it is burning brightly by your devotion. So today, we could revisit some very important topics of the Bhagavad Gita, which will always remain a classic evergreen Shastra. And we have revisited it through your voices and your mature, Mananam responses, and in keeping with your background, your experiences, your skills, wonderful contributions. So thank you all for this Mananam response. I will also take 3 minutes only or less. I know it's late, but I want to thank Hema for jumping in the last minute because Deepa had an emergency situation, and wonderfully you've moderated and navigated through the speakers. And the slides, were they not so beautiful? For every question, see, Deepa herself took the initiative and made the slides, and I thought it would be nice to listen to her next Friday. Yes. Whoever could not represent today, we have our sessions, online sessions. Suganya all can present the next time. And I could see a hand raised by Mudita Emma, also from Germany. So sorry, Emma, I could not send you the questions beforehand. But in the next session, definitely we will listen to you also. Okay. And Sudha, you not only answered the most important verse of the entire Gita perfectly, but Sudha also supplied some beautiful questions today. I got a lot of help from, I think, Jay Sri from the past couple of years ago, and we could put it all together very nicely. And Vani Devi, special mention to Vani Devi, how beautifully, she showed that how the Bhagavad Gita, such a universal scripture. You see this ashrams in Germany, the whole of Europe I have seen, the Czech Republic and Romania. I've met so many devotees, and how they are such shining mumukshus. And Vani Devi also, conducts Gita sessions, the explanation and the chanting regularly in their beautiful Yoga Vidya ashram in North Germany. So you see how today the session was not only Mananam, it is Shravanam for everybody and Nididhyasanam. We are dwelling on the Tattvam. And as Hema said, what a perfect conclusion with Jayashree's response. Very well rounded up the whole session. Okay. So let us keep the lamp of this knowledge, lit by Vyasa through the Mahabharatam and through Krishna and our Guru Parampara in all of us, shining brightly. Om Tat Sat. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnavad Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha.